Stephen, great to see you. Thanks for being here. I know it's like 8:30 at night. What time is it with you here in Canada?
Hi, Caroline. It's 12:30 in the middle of afternoon.
Awesome. So we're very privileged to have you here. And I have to say, on a personal note, so lovely to catch up with you because it's been a number of years since we were in person in Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, wherever the heck we were doing events together. So let's start by sharing maybe with our listeners a little bit about your background and how you came to invest in property from the very, very beginning. How did that work out for you?
Of course. So I was originally from Hong Kong. I was born in Hong Kong, and then I moved to Canada, Vancouver, Canada, when I was 16. Then I started to study electrical and computer engineering at the University of British Columbia here in Vancouver.
Yep.
After I graduated, I started my own computer and IT business, selling and servicing Apple computers, and then I built up a small business. But then, of course, as a small business owner, I worked really, really, really hard. I spent a lot of hours into the business.
Yeah.
The business went well. I built 2 retail shops, have 20 staff working for me. So I make some decent income from the small business. But as a small business owner, I have a pain. The pain was I have no time. Like I spent all my time in the business, and then I had no time to do what I want in life, like spending more time with my loved ones or traveling around the world. I couldn't do it. So that's why back in 2014, I started to take some training in properties, investing, wanting to learn how to invest in properties because in the past, I worked hard for money. Now I just want money to work hard for me.
Okay.
So when I went to the training, I learned some new information and knowledge about investing. I got fascinated about it, and I really want to get passive income. So after the training and with the help of my mentors, I started to invest in Canada.
Okay.
With different strategies, different area, different provinces in Canada, including British Columbia, Ontario, and all the way to the East Coast where New Brunswick is.
Wow.
Leveraging different type of strategies.
Okay, so how long has you been in business for yourself before you decided, holy moly, I'm working in my business rather than on my business. I need to make a change. How long was that process?
That was like at least 15 years doing the computer and IT. Yes, 15 years.
What was your very first strategy from the Canadian perspective investing?
Well, because my focus was always about getting more passive income.
Yeah.
Because when I was learning about investing in properties, the first thing that we learned about is how to achieve financial freedom. And that financial freedom is such a nice term. Like, how do we actually even do that? And then I was told that, okay, well, if you can build up your passive income stream, the portfolio, to get all those passive income, then if this passive income replaces your active earned income or replaces your current personal expenses bills, then you could literally quit your job or completely like close down your small business and just depend on the passive income. So I focus on passive income stream, long-term buy and hold, and multi-unit residential buildings, and like one building, let's like a small apartment building, kind of that.
Like a block of apartments, like a block of apartments. You know, when people read Robert Kiyosaki, and he was buying an apartment block in Arizona, and here in the UK, I know you invest in the UK, but you know that doesn't really exist unless you're buying for the millions. So, like in Canada, you can buy these blocks.
Yes. Well, they're the smaller scale. There's a bigger scale. Like when I first started, I still learning, and the capital I didn't have enough, so I started with some small buildings. And we're talking about small could be one building with 3 units, meaning like 3 individual units that they have their own entrance and with their own, of course, kitchen, toilets, and bedrooms.
Okay. So just as an example, what would the investment level be for a starter block of 3 units be in,
Mhm.
like, where you would maybe have one of your mentees start investing? What would that be?
Well, of
Rough.
course, we know property prices has been, steadily going up like over time.
Yeah.
When I first started back in 2014, 2015, well, right now we look back, it was very, very attractive, put it this way.
Mm.
And a 3 unit, and I bought it in New Brunswick, St. John, New Brunswick. I mean, you could Google it, look it up. And at that time, a 3 unit, one building, I bought it for 60,000 Canadian dollars.
Mm.
That's
Hang
how
on.
much in pounds? That's probably like 45,000 in pounds.
Okay, so you're talking you get 3 units for that. And
Yes, yes.
I'm trying to like make it this British, right? So, and as an investor in the UK, you know this, right? So you're talking, this is not just a studio apartment times
No,
three. This is like
no.
a 1 bed flat times.
Actually, in fact, it's that particular one. There are two 3 bedroom units
Oh
and
my
one bedroom. That's
Canadian
literally cost 35,000 pounds
for,
for
oh
the whole
my,
thing.
okay. I'm not even going to get into the cash flow or anything else like that because, okay, so you
Yes.
started in Canada.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to branch out from Canada? And why?
Uh,
What, like, I'm not being funny. If you
yeah.
can get 3 units, three
Yes.
flats in one
Yes.
block for
Yes.
45 grand or 35 grand UK,
Yeah.
why the hell did you leave that kind of strategy or that?
Put it this way, I love to travel.
Okay.
And wherever we go in the world, there are properties there that
Yeah.
might interest me. But of course, as an investor, we have to focus on the return. Is the return is there? It's not about like, okay, you just want to buy a property there, but if it doesn't give you cash flow, then no, I'm not considering it.
Yeah.
So US being just south of Canada, it's a very popular place, especially when we live in Canada. It's a little bit cold, in winter, and we call like these people snowbirds that people Canadians will go to down south in California, Arizona, or Florida to live there for 4 months at least out of a year.
Yeah.
And just like any Canadians, I love to travel south to go there and see it and feel the heat. So I look for different properties and opportunities there. There are definitely opportunities, and that's why I started to invest in the US as well. And same reason for UK. I always love the culture and being like from Hong Kong. Like we always have a very good connection and relationship with UK, and that's why I'm also very interested in investing in UK.
Okay, so from an international investor's perspective, if I put that hat on for a second, from Canadian point of view, what kind of loan to value are you getting when you're lending? Are you like 75% loan to value? Okay, so
Yeah,
exactly what we get here in the UK. Then you go
yeah.
to the US. What kind of loan to value lending are you getting in the US?
It depends, and it also depends on the type of deal that we're doing in the US. And
Okay.
when I first started investing in US, is majority of time I was a JV partner, the money partner, so
Okay.
that I have my the other investors doing the groundwork, but then I was the one who actually come up with the money to invest. Could be a typical flip project, buy property there, fix it up for in and flip it in 3 to 6 months, and then
Okay.
get the money back. But of course, like that's not like a passive income strategy. That's more like
Active.
an active, more like an active type of income. But in terms of financing, yes, typically 75%, 70% loan to value. That's about right.
Okay, fine. Because I have to say, when I have a student ask me, should I invest in the US? Should I invest in other places? Does your teachings work overseas? I'm like, okay, Everything is transferable. Like if you can invest in one country, you can invest in another country. However, the one thing that always differs is your lending, which is
Yeah.
effectively affecting your leverage, right? And
Right.
if I can only leverage at, say, let's say I only get a 30% loan to value, then I'm having to put up 70%, which to me, that's not that attractive. But if
Mhm.
you're doing flips, like you just talked about, money
Yeah.
in, money out, then actually it doesn't really matter what country that's in, right?
That doesn't matter at all.
When it comes to going from Canada, US to the UK, yeah, you've
Mhm.
said culturally there's a strong connection
Yeah.
from your Hong Kong roots, but that changes massively on the lending and everything else. So what instigated that initial change in focus on your investing?
And that's a good question. And of course, we have to, as an investor, we have to be logical as well. It's not like, oh, I love UK and then I'm going to buy a property there. No, that, that's not the right decision. And because I went through some training about investing in UK, and I like the fact that yes, the lending in UK for foreigners is actually available. That's
Yeah.
very important. And it's also they focus on more on the property performance
Yes.
rather than our own our own whether I have a job or do I have credit, not on the personal level. And that's what I really enjoyed when I invest in the UK. Now they just look at the property as an entity. Whether
Yeah.
this property is performing, then they will lend.
You got into the UK, and obviously you will have needed a lot of help. You said that you got educated. You know that you could get the lending based on the entity.
Mhm.
You're still focusing on the passive income. I
Yes.
guess there's a really crucial question that I haven't asked you yet, which I know our listeners are going to be eager to hear, and that is, did you start this whole investing in property thing with a pot of cash?
Honestly, I did have a little bit, a
Okay.
little bit.
Yeah.
uh all like we all start with at a different level, right?
Yeah.
And when I have a little bit, then I could start right away, straight away, like without thinking too much, like how to find money. That's a little bit easier. However, as we all know, when we do this business long enough now, that yes, you could have your cash to buy one, two, three properties,
Yeah.
and then what? Now
Exactly.
then you're stuck. Now you have to have the ability and skill to find money, not just traditional money from the bank. When we now have to find joint venture partnership, right?
Yeah.
And like here, like some other creative financing methods. In Canada here, like in North America, we have those winner take backs or seller financing. Basically, we have the seller to finance us as
Yeah.
well, and other partnership with different people. So that's how we could grow. Because yes, I may have the money to buy that little 3 unit building, but now that I like this 50-unit building, how am I gonna afford it? There's no way that I have enough cash to buy that.
Yeah.
So that's why I learned from different courses, like how and from my mentors about how we could creatively fund that deal.
Okay, so you're now in the UK buying up British land, and then we meet. We
Yes,
are handpicked to train for Rich Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, and we meet in like, was it Hong Kong our
Hong Kong
first?
first. Yes,
Hong Kong first. We did Hong
yes,
Kong, Singapore, Thailand,
yeah,
Malaysia. We were all
yeah.
over the place, and we
That's
had
right.
a blast, and we ate a lot of good food. You,
Absolutely.
you and your food, man. That's crazy.
I I love traveling and food. It's not about properties. Property will give me the ability to enjoy these things, qualities in life. Traveling and food are the main reasons that I want to do properties. Yes.
Exactly. The passive income feeds you. Okay, so then, lifestyle restricts us wanting to travel as much. Like we love our travel, but families and commitments and everything else. And then COVID hits.
Mhm. I was actually very blessed that I started investing in properties in 2014, and then now that COVID hit, I was just resting at home. I didn't do anything. I didn't have to go to work. I
Yeah.
didn't have to work for somebody. And still there was passive income coming in. So
Yeah.
that actually supported me throughout those 3 years. I picked up another investing strategy. I start to invest more in paper assets like
Okay.
stocks, futures, all those. And that's another stream of passive income that I'm generating right now.
To a lot of people, that's like alien. Why would I put money into paper? So, this is something that my brain struggles with because, I'm not analytical like you are. You're IT, you're data driven, your numbers. So, stock trading and charts, that's quite
Mhm.
natural for you. So talk me through how this whole trading element came about, apart from obviously COVID, like basically forcing you into it, and how it's all evolved since then.
For sure. Well, Caroline, we probably need another podcast and another episode to talk about trading. But
Do you know what? Being an entrepreneur and being an investor is so psychological, right?
yes, yes,
How much have we talked about mindset and about having the entrepreneurial, I don't know what it is, like the neurological thing going on where
yeah,
you're just like seeing opportunities every which way you turn. But there are people that can be in your life that aren't on board with that, and you are totally entrepreneurial and you want to be seeing opportunities and making money in every which angle you can, and then there's other people in the background saying, what the hell are you doing, you're nuts. And that's tough, right? Because you've got your own demons to battle.
hmm
What if
yes,
what if
yes.
you are actually nuts, which I have a lot.
hmm
And then if you have people in the background who you love saying the same, that's even harder, right? And I know, and you don't need to share, but I know that your wife, when you started this, came on one of your initial property trainings and was like, yep, I get it, but it's not for me. And you were like, yep, it is for me. And you started and you went for it and you accelerated, and she wasn't on board. Like, that is a battle, I believe, that is actually way harder to manage than an internal battle that you have with that critical voice that says, what if, like, you can't find a tenant, or what if the
Right.
tenant doesn't pay their rent, right?
hmm
How did you cope with the added challenge of having someone that you love in your life not, like, back what you're doing, or like get on board with that? What was that like?
Well, it's not easy, put it this way. And then we know that nothing is easy. You just have to go deeper inside yourself and think what exactly is that you want. Of course, when you first started with a relationship with somebody, yes, like you build a family, of course, like everything should be like transparent. And however, sometimes like relationship between two people uh, could have differences, could have values that are not aligned, and that's exactly what happened to me when I first started investing in properties. My ex-wife back then, like she was not supportive at all, like not at all. She worked for the government. She has a traditional employee mindset and thinking that investing is risky.
Yeah.
Now, at that time, when because I was a small business owner already, so I took certain risk, calculated risk, and when I saw that building a portfolio, a property portfolio, was definitely a something that I want to do because I believe this is how to get to where I want financially. So, yes, we had challenges, we had arguments, and then I still want to pursue. And I now that I look back, I think there's one thing is very important. It's uh, eh, like we have to have a lot of courage
Yeah.
just to like to do what you want in life, and you need to overcome a lot of challenges. Investing in properties, we have a lot of challenges, and
Of
some
course.
that's something that we go through every day, like dealing with tenants, dealing with letting agents, dealing with all those like builders. So, and of course, those challenges could be resolved and fixed, and we get knowledge from Caroline, like you, because you're an experienced investor. However, like on the personal level, when you're dealing with your family, of course, that's a different type of challenge. And
Yeah.
when I basically present every investment deals to my ex-wife at that time, pretty much every time it's a no, no, a hard no, like no, this is risky. So, and then of course, like I still do it because I believe
Yeah.
this will get to where I want, and I don't want to give myself excuse. So that's why I still decide to take action to stay on course. And now that I look back, I think I make the right decision.
I mean, it's a very emotional topic, right? And I can see and feel and hear the emotion that's coming through, and I get choked up because actually we, having done so many events together, trying to teach people how to do this, we it's never ever about investing in property. It's
No,
always about your true core values in life and how they align with your belief system. And if
right.
you are with someone whose belief system isn't in line, that is so challenging. And you know what, Stephen? So many people would not have taken the path that you took because it would have been easier to keep happy wife, happy life
Yes.
and just get a proper job in inverted commas and carry on doing what they're doing. But, when you read books like The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying, one of them is having the courage to live your life that's true to
Mhm.
yourself. And you've done that. And I fully respect and like, I'm in awe of you doing that because I've never experienced that type of adversity from someone that I loved. And that is incredible that you just carried on and did it anyway. And it led to a different path and a different outcome, right? Which is
Yes.
positive
I,
in the
I'm
end.
very happy that yes, as you said, like true to yourself, and I can honestly say that I can be myself right now,
Yeah.
and I'm very blessed and lucky that my girlfriend with me right now, she's very supportive. Although she's not in the investing industry, she gives me 100% support on what I do. So I'm very very happy.
But you mentioned to me earlier on about something that you were doing that was another multiple stream of income, which is
Mm.
where our brains are at. I just want you to tell our listeners about it because it's pretty bonkers and I love it.
Well, as I said, I love multiple stream of income and passive income,
That's it.
and it's something called Turo, 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 and basically it's like Airbnb for your cars. So you literally rent out your own cars to some strangers, and I look at it. This is interesting, and I when I travel, I started to try this as well as a customer to rent cars on Turo as opposed to traditional car rental companies,
Yep.
and because I find that it's actually a lot more affordable for one thing compared to the traditional car rental company. The other thing is the car selection, the car type. Because traditional car rental company will probably give you several different brands and models, and that's it. And it's usually boring. What I would do is I will finance, like literally buy a minivan, like let's say a Honda Odyssey, and I finance it. So I don't need to come up with any money. So zero down, and then I pay a monthly payment.
Yep.
Then I list this minivan on Turo for people to rent.
Yep.
And especially right now in Vancouver, it's summertime. Pretty much it gets rented out every single day. I don't even see the car itself in my garage. Say in Canada here, the minivan that I got, let's say $1,200 Canadian dollars. Okay.
Yep.
How much am I renting it out right now? $200 a month, a day. $200 a day. So you
Wow.
do the math, 30 days, 6,000. Okay,
Yeah.
yes, it's not like 100% like, rented out all the time. Even
Yeah.
if you cut it in, like, cut 70% rented out. I mean, the listeners can do the math themselves. And
Yeah.
it's definitely enough to pay for my finance charge every single month with the extra cash flow. So I consider that's an extra passive income for me.
I love it. I think it's brilliant. And these innovative ideas, like what else do people use all the time when they travel that you could potentially buy and then lease out is incredible. So look, you are definitely an entrepreneur for sure. And I, look, I think when you actually are an investor within property, it naturally leads to other avenue streams. And the fact that you've gone down the stock market and Turo or whatever it is, and you're massively still into your tech. Like if I need a selfie stick, you're the man I come to find the best selfie stick on the market. I mean, Hong Kong, right? You're
Yes, of
a
course.
kitty in a sweet shop with the tech there. And you just have different eyes. And I love the fact that your journey has led you from always trying to be a little bit different from following the traditional paths that you were taught in, and it's led to a really, really positive place for you. So thank you so much for sharing
You're
your
welcome.
experience with us. If people want to reach out to you, find more about your story, or like know about you and your trading or anything else, the best place to do that is your email address, Stephen with a PH at Trust Your
Trust Your
Talent.
Talent. Yeah, trustyourtalent.ca. So I'm one of the trainers and coaches for a property investing academy here in Canada. So I train and teach people how to invest in properties in Canada. So if any of your listeners are interested in maybe expanding the territory and start investing in Canada, of course, we welcome that and take some training from us. The company is called Trust Your Talent. So trustyourtalent.ca. So my email address is Stephen with a PH at trustyourtalent.ca.
And of course, if they want to hear about your trading or Turo or anything else,
Reach out to me. Yes.
yeah, they can reach out to you as well. Of course, they don't need to want to purely just invest in Canada, but I'm sure there's lots of people who love their skiing trips and will say, hey, can I buy a property in Whistler?
Absolutely. I don't know about cash flow. The Whistlers, it's a tourist area. It's it's still very expensive, and they operate like majority of the time is winter. Summer there's still visitors. Of course, like for us, we look at the return on investment, whether there's cash flow or not, right? So absolutely, reach out to me, and I love to talk and chat and talk about different investment strategies here in Canada available. Sure.
Brilliant. I've loved catching up with Stephen. It's been fantastic. A late night chat for me and an early afternoon chat for you, but
yes.
I know our listeners will really benefit from that. So thanks very much.
Thank you, Caroline.
See you soon.
Okay, bye.